What's up, y'all? I'm Fast Track. I'm the best man pajama who ever stood in a black and white camera. Okay, before we get into this video, I have an important announcement I would like to make. Well, not exactly an announcement, more like a question, and that question is for you guys, the viewers. And this question is this. Now, as most of my fans have said, they really like Noir Track as a character and as persona, and I kind of liked him too, and people are asking more of him. However, I feel like I should not just limit him to the month of October. So here is my idea, and this is where I want your guys' honest opinion. I am thinking of giving Noir Track, that's me, his very own channel. Kind of like a reaction channel. But here's the thing. While Fast Track, the other guy, will be reacting to audio dramas and internet videos, basically online stuff, Noir Track, me, will be reacting to canon episodes and movies of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, like including the 9th season, any Equestria Girls shorts or specials, the next movie that I assume will be coming out in 2019 or 2020, and if it's good, the 5th generation of My Little Pony, if it's good. So, if you guys think it's a good idea to have a separate channel where I will be reacting to the canon MLP episodes, movies, specials, and shorts, would you like that? And would you like Noir Track to be the star of said channel? Granted, it'll have to be in Noir Track style, black and white, with jazz music, but would you like that? Would you like Noir Track to get his own channel? Please give your honest opinions and thoughts in the comments below. Okay? Okay. Now, with that said, let's get right into the real meat of this video. Today, I, Noir Track, will be reacting to... You've got to be kidding me. This is going to be my final Noir Track video, and this is what I'm stuck with. Fine. Today, I will be reacting to Pinkie Tales, Episode 1, Applejack and the Beanstalk by Magpiepony, the same creator of Princess Trixie Sparkle. Really? This is what I'm introduced to? It's the final Noir Track episode, so let's just get this over with. Okay, so, Pinkie Tales. It is the second most popular thing on Miss Magpie's channel, obviously. And, yeah, apparently it's just fairy tales ponyfied. Yeah, with ponies. And lots of color and comedy. No drama, just lots of comedy and pinky breaks. Oh boy. Well, I guess it's what you guys want, so... Oh, how this Fast Track does do this. And since this is not an audio drama, but an audio comedy? You know what? Let's just get with the drinking game. You know the basics, you know the drill. Anytime there is a mention of the canon MLP universe, or a mention of the Brony fandom, like any nods, or if there's a cameo of any Brony personnel, or if there's the beginning of a song, I take a sip of Arizona brand lemon flavored iced tea. That's a good reference. Okay. So, Magpiepony, you were barely able to, wow, Fast Track for Princess Trixie Sparkle from episode 4. So, let's see if you can turn it around, I guess. Alright, but for real though, I hope this is good. Like really, I hope this is. Let's get right into this. Pinkie Tales, Applejack, and the Beanstalk. Let's do this. You ready? Too bad. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Pinkie Tales, Pounded Pumpkin.
Pinkie Tales, Applejack and the Beanstalk.
Pinkie Tales, it's almost time for Pinkie
Hey there,
Tales.
Pounded Pumpkin. Are you superly duper excited for your bedtime story tonight? It's a good one. It's all about this pony and this plant and this huge...
Well, spoilers.
I'll just get to it.
What's next? You gotta tell me that I'm your father. Once upon a time.
In a kingdom far away, there lived a poor farmer
Change
named
of narrator.
Applejack. Although her name would lead you to believe that she harvested apples,
Applejack.
it was a common misconception.
Wait.
Do it.
Misconception is quite a big word. You could just say incorrect. That's a big word too.
Pinkie.
Steak? Bobo?
Thank you, Pinkie.
What?
Applejack
The what?
and her mother, Mrs. Sparkle, were in fact
Should I
cotton
drink to that?
farmers. And as every pony knows, clothing for ponies is an unnecessary luxury.
Ha ha ha!
Especially
Drink to
in
that.
times like these. Therefore, they were so
Except for the Grand Galloping Gala.
Why don't you just say that they needed beds?
That's what it means, Pinkie.
Oh, carry on then.
This is gonna happen a lot.
Times were so hard, in fact, that Mrs. Sparkle and her daughter only had one last thing to their name.
Mrs.
A
Sparkle.
cow named Rainbow Vine.
I get it.
Puns!
Because a bovine is another word for a cow, and it's
Ah, that's a knee slapper.
On the day that Mrs. Sparkle and
Oh,
her
boy.
daughter had finished the last of their bread, she
Rainbow,
turned to her
you look
daughter
good for a
and said,
cow.
You must go into town and sell our cow for some bits, or
What's
we
wrong
will
with
surely
hamburger?
Starve.
Our cow? You mean Rainbow?
Don't dawdle, Applejack, and
What?
don't stop for anything on your way. Accept no less than 10 bits for her.
So with Rainbow Vine in tow,
10 bits.
Applejack made her way along the worn path towards
Or
town.
you can sell it for hamburger.
Moo! So is that all
Moo.
you can say then? Moo?
Well, howdy there, and hello to you, fellow traveler.
Reminds me of Markiplier.
A smooth-talking
Oh, Flim Flam.
Pony and his brother said, approaching Applejack with friendly yet somehow still sinister smiles. Let me guess.
Flim.
You're
Flim.
interested in the cow.
Mighty fine beast you got there. If you're looking to sell, I'm sure we can take it off your hooves for, say, 5 bits.
5 bits?
Nope.
Aren't you supposed to be tricking me into selling her for some magic beans?
What?
Magic beans?
Wait,
One of the brothers
they
said.
can break the fourth wall too?
Turned to the other.
Why, of course we have ourselves some magic beans. Magic to its finest.
The other brother agreed.
Of course, these here are precious beans, and we wouldn't part with them for just anything.
Do we gotta trade or what?
What is happening?
Really? I mean, Moo!
They're breaking characters so much.
Said. The pair of ponies had vanished with Rainbow Vine, leaving poor foolish Applejack with 3 lousy and ordinary beans.
There's supposed to be magic beans.
Thank you, Pinkie.
Yes, of course, Pinkie. 3 lousy and magical beans.
Better.
How is magic
When
lousy?
Applejack proudly presented the beans to her mother, however,
Uh-oh.
Mrs. Sparkle was far less than pleased.
At least for magic.
Beans?
Wait,
Beans?
Pink,
I sent you into town
blue,
for bits, not
green.
beans. We cannot live on 3 beans,
da
Applejack.
da 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 da.
I'm just doing what's supposed to be done, and I know for a fact this story has the cow traded for beans. Mrs. Sparkle screamed, tossing the beans from her hoof into the yard just outside the window. Well, maybe you could use your alicorn magic to make them into magic beans.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's no such thing as...
So Applejack can break it, Pinkie Pie can
Now, off
break
the devil.
and manipulate.
I'll have to come up with another plan to get food in this house.
So does she not break the fourth wall? Who
Mrs. Sparkle
doesn't break the fourth wall?
The beans she had unknowingly planted were in fact magical, and by the full moon's light, they took root in the hard soil and sprung up
Let it
into a
grow,
that soared
let
into
it
the sky
grow.
and pierced through clouds. When morning finally came, Applejack and her mother gazed in awe
Well,
at
we
the
need green
beanstalk,
beans for the rest of our lives.
letting their imaginations run wild with the possibilities of where it would lead. Maybe I should climb it.
Are you sure, Applejack? It looks rather dangerous.
Dangerous?
Danger
How this
is my middle
dangerous?
name.
There's a spiral ramp conveniently wrapped around the beanstalk leading all the way up.
Please be careful, my daughter.
Mrs. Sparkle said,
Wait,
embracing Applejack.
if you're Applejack's mother, does that mean you're gonna die soon?
Honestly,
I'm sorry, that was terrible. I'm sorry. Please leave your hate comments
what,
below.
do they think I can't climb a beanstalk on my own? Applejack ranted just before she broke through the cloud cover. Well, that was fast. Applejack added, taking a look around, and discovered an entire world above the clouds that
Wait,
no pony would
can
have
you
ever
walk
dreamed.
on clouds? You're an earth pony.
Wait, am I expected to walk on this here cloud?
Yes!
Still just an earth pony and
Yes!
can't do that sort of thing without Twilight's magic. Oh well. Applejack took a wary step
You know what? I'll drink to that.
cloud and found, much to her surprise, that it was firm as solid ground. She wandered away from the beanstalk and took note of the strange plants, which seemed far larger than those back in Equestria.
Grass.
Even the blades of grass could tower over her in some places. After wandering for a few minutes,
Wow.
Applejack came
They
upon
really
a
let your
giant
yarn go.
and her eyes widened as she beheld it.
Ooh.
Bakery?
Wait.
It's a giant bakery. Gee, I wonder who could possibly live in a giant bakery in the sky.
Donut Joe?
Still, she knew that bakeries had all manner of wonderful things to eat.
Mr. and Mrs.
And
Cake?
that perhaps this was the answer
Pounded
to
pumpkin?
all of her problems. Without so much as a knock, Applejack
The griffin with the
easily slipped
eclairs?
under the giant
And the
bakery
French
door
mustache?
And climbed her neck up to see shelves upon shelves of wonderful things to eat.
Ooh.
There were
Cake,
pastries,
cinnamon
creams,
rolls,
pies,
punch,
cakes,
candy.
donuts, and loaves of delicious bread for as
Pie.
far as she could see. The only problem was that each of these delectable goodies were too high to reach and too heavy to lift and bring back home.
Huh.
While she
Well,
pondered
that's a
her
dilemma.
predicament, Applejack could hear a faint tooting sound coming from somewhere on the table nearby.
Toot.
She wandered closer, the sound becoming progressively louder as she did so. It reminded her of the sound of a tuba, intermingled with the sobs of a pony.
What the
When she
what?
reached one of the legs of the table, she paused.
Oh, look! Another conveniently placed spiral ramp leading from the floor to the table.
How
Why?
totally unexpected. Applejack climbed the leg of the table.
Well, that's
And
good
once
to
she
know.
reached the top, she saw an array of wonderful sugary things to eat. There were jellies as tall as buildings, and pies as wide as farmland, cakes as deep as ravines, and all manner of
Ooh.
candies scattered about
I'm getting
in
hungry.
chaotic fashion. She was so overtaken by the sight that she nearly forgot the reason she had climbed in the first place.
Gosh darn it.
It wasn't until she heard another loud and out of
Excuse me.
tuba tune that she continued her pursuit of the
Sorry
sound.
about that. Just,
When she turned the
telemarketus.
corner, Applejack saw what she believed was just a regular tuba slumped against a piece of blueberry pie.
What?
What she didn't realize was that the
Wait,
tuba
isn't it supposed to be a
itself was
harp?
moving and sobbing as it made its off-key noises.
Yikes.
Everything all right there, miss?
Ah, Toot! Oh, don't start me like
What
that,
the
Toot.
what?
I hate tooting in front of guests.
Are you supposed to be a magical talking tuba?
Yes. Oh, woe is me. Toot!
I want it to be a harp.
We're supposed to be a harp.
Yes!
Isn't it a magical singing harp?
A harp! Oh, I wish it were so, darling. Toot! But instead, I am stuck as a dreadful tuba making all kinds of terrible toot noises. Oh, but where are my
What?
manners? Hello there, young traveler. I am Raritute. Yes, really.
That sounds a lot like rare
I am
fruit.
dreadfully sorrowful. Well, go on. Ask me why I'm sorrowful.
Why are you sorrowful?
Why are you sorrowful?
Because I am a captive in this dreadful place, forced to play music, party music, for the wicked giant's many parties. Toot!
Party
I'd rather be playing classical pieces.
Now I
and
get
something
it.
light as a lute. But no, I'm stuck playing such tunes as Every Pony Dance Now and the tuba rendition of the
Da, da,
Macarena.
da, da.
Raritute.
Ba, ba, da, da, ba, da, da, ba, da, 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 ba, ba, da, da, ba, da, da, ba, da, da, da.
Tooting sound. Applejack winced at the sound.
Okay.
Covered her ears. At this point,
I want to cover my ears too,
to make the awful noises.
but I can't. It's literally my job to listen to this.
How's about I help you escape then?
You would do that for me?
Yeah.
Oh, how
Stop tooting.
we will become the best of friends.
Not
you and
helping.
I. Perhaps you could learn to play the violin or the cello, and then we could perform.
I play the
concerts
saxophone.
together
Whoa now, wait just a minute. I said I'd help you escape. I never said you could come home with me.
But I have nowhere else to go. Oh, Toot, Toot. Oh, Toot.
Oh, Davis.
You simply must take me with you.
I don't know.
Isn't it supposed to be some chicken that lays eggs?
You're wild,
Or goose.
darling.
And how's that?
I know of a magical tree that the giant keeps, which bears fruit of the golden apple. Each one 24 carats at least. They're mighty delicious
Golden
if used the right way.
apple.
Though I suppose
Cool.
they could be sold for profit too if you so desired.
Golden apples. So that's why I've been led here. Show me the way, Rarid. Toot.
And then I can come with you?
Sure, why not?
Why not? I can shove the golden apples in my ear.
Why?
And out the tootin'.
Oh, this is positively marvelous!
It's like I know this story before it
Try
happens.
not to do that, please.
Thank
I'll
you.
do my best, darling, but I am a tuba after all. It's in my nature. Follow me then. Oh, and don't eat any of the food or there will be drastic consequences.
What?
What kind of consequences?
Let us hope you don't find out. Come along!
Applejack
eat the
followed
food.
after Raritute. Her interest had certainly
dear.
been piqued. Why would taking a bite of food be so wrong?
Don't.
At first,
Applejack,
it was
no.
an easy request to follow,
No.
but with
No.
each new delicious treat after
No.
another,
No.
they became
No.
more and more tempting.
No.
It seemed to Applejack that each new dessert was better than the last, and her stomach rumbled each time she avoided taking a bite.
Oh
She
dear.
hadn't eaten since the day before, and even then it was a meager meal at best. Still, Applejack
Peasants,
did
all
as
they
Raritute
eat is
had
dirt.
advised, until she caught sight of the most amazing dessert she had ever
Apple
seen
pie?
and smelled. What is that?
Giant apple
Why,
pie.
it's a golden apple pie, of course.
Golden apple
The
pie.
apples of the tree we are seeking.
Oh dear.
Golden apple.
This cannot go well.
Applejack trailed off, her hooves unconsciously walking closer to
Oh dear.
Here we are, darling. The tree is just around the corner.
Too late.
What are you doing? Toot!
Raritute screamed.
That's not gonna
A
help.
loud toot of distress. Applejack had wandered over to the pie, her eyes transfixed on its golden filling.
It's so
Her mouth
beautiful.
watered, and her stomach grumbled loudly. And though she could hear Raritute's annoying and loud warnings not to, Applejack leaned in. and
That's
took
what I
bite.
do whenever I see a
The
pie.
most amazing pie
Giggity.
she had ever tasted, and she buried her face into the pie for another bite.
That's what I did.
Without missing a beat,
I'm sorry.
the giant door burst open, scaring Applejack
Oh, dear.
so much that she leaped into the golden pie to hide.
It's a pink
Standing
giant.
at the door with a large grin on her face was none other than Pinkie the giant.
Bee, fine, diddly-dum, do, bum. Bee,
What?
who dares steal a bite from my tasty pastry?
Pinkie the giant bounced from the door to the table, causing the room to quake as if
Oh,
the
dear.
earth itself was moving.
Oh
Raritute
dear.
screamed
That was supposed to be terrible.
and ducked behind a large piece of cake while Applejack struggled to keep her hat on her head as the golden apple pie bounced up and down on the tabletop.
Oh dear.
Clear here.
Pinkie the giant said as she inspected a cupcake on the opposite end of the table.
Nothing wrong here. Or here.
She examined each
Are you
pastry,
sure?
picking up one at a time, looking for any little missing pieces or nibbles.
How old are those
Applejack
cakes on the
frantically
table?
poked her head out of the pie and looked for a new hiding place. She saw Raritute giving her a nasty glare.
Raritute.
And then she noticed the tree that she had been searching for. It was no more than 50
yeah.
yards from the pie.
That tree you were looking
with
for.
a yellow trunk and light pink leaves, and on each of the many branches hung a bright golden apple. Although the room was
Cool.
shaking with every bounce from the giant, Applejack could have sworn she saw the tree shaking in fear all on its own.
Ah, my prized pie.
Uh-oh.
Pinkie exclaimed, pulling the
Giggity.
golden apple pie to her nose to smell. Applejack
Giggity.
shouted,
I'm sorry.
"Whoa!"
I'm immature.
falling with a splat back into the pie. Pinkie cried.
I'm
dropping
sorry,
the pie
I'm
onto
so
the
immature.
table, and causing many other desserts to fall over.
Oh, say something else, oh magical deliciousness!
Applejack coughed and popped her head out of the pie, gasping for air before she met the gaze of the rather disappointed giant.
Aww, you're not a talking pie at all.
You're not gonna eat Applejack, are you?
Pinkie the giant said, reaching down with her hoof and scooping Applejack out of the pie. Applejack was barely able to grab her hat in time and cringed when she put its wet stickiness back on her head.
Who are you? And what do you want with my desserts?
You don't know who I am, Pinkie?
Of course I
What?
don't, Applejack. This is the first time I've ever seen you before.
In this
But
story.
you just said
It doesn't matter anyway. You have defiled my greatest work. And now you must
Fourth wall breakage.
Yes, Miss Giant?
play me a tune. An old western kind of tune. Seeing this pony in a hat gives me a great idea.
Oh dear.
Before Applejack
Rarity
could wonder
must
what
be-
Pinkie the giant could possibly be planning.
Must
She
be
found
feeling
herself
torture.
in another corner of the bakery where a collection of pony-sized toys strewn about the counter.
Pinkie's a brony!
Applejack was redressed in cow pony boots, a white hat, and a vest where a cheap
Reach
but
for
golden
the
sheriff's
sky.
dog was pinned. While Applejack tried to figure out how she could be dressed so quickly, Pinkie the giant had set up an entire old western scene complete with shops, desert sand, and an old railroad track.
Rarity's the
what's this here
damsel.
setup all about?
Applejack asked.
And Twilight has a mustache.
Of course, Pinkie the giant.
No
was
villain's a
having
villain
none.
without a mustache.
She readjusted the hat on Applejack's head. She picked up a little purple alicorn toy dressed in a similar designed black outfit and a crudely drawn black mustache.
Mustache.
We meet again, Sheriff Applebottom. You can never stop me or my
Nefarious.
evil plan.
Are we really doing this, Pinkie?
Yes!
Quiet! Don't you want to know what my plan is?
Sure, why not?
What nefarious plan have you concocted, Pinkie?
Pinkie? Who is this Pinkie? I am Midnight Moonshine, the unwanted ally.
That sounds like a terrible OC name.
You do realize that's another name for...
Help me, Sheriff.
Moonshine.
He said,
Ah.
speaking for a different toy on the playset. This was a white unicorn mare with a deep purple mane that was tied crudely to the train track with a piece of
Oh,
tunic yarn.
help me.
Save her if you can, Applebottom. And while you do,
Applebottom?
I will rob the cookie bank.
Like apple bottom jeans.
Stop me.
Diggity. You know what? I'll drink to that too.
Applejack looked from Pinkie to the toys
And
that
for
were roughly her
Moonshine.
size.
I don't have time for this.
Pinkie lowered her head and rested it on the table, looking Applejack in the eye, glaring darkly.
What did you say?
I said...
She's gonna die.
not, miss.
Rarity.
Oh, so we're not changing her name then?
Nothing else fit right.
Way, Rarity made an unimpressed tooting sound.
Okay.
Miss Rarity then. I shall save you.
Applejack sauntered towards the railroad.
Oh no, it's the hype train.
Was dressed for the part, wearing
Come on, ride the
a
train
gown,
and ride it.
she was sure that real
Come on, ride the
women
train
never dared to wear.
and ride it.
She bit down on
If
the yarn
you
and
feel
sang,
like
wondering
dancing,
what the catch
well,
was.
come on.
That was,
It's all
of course,
to
when
you.
Applejack caught sight of a toy train heading her way.
Hurry, Miss Applebottom. Hurry. 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 Hurry.
Concern it, I'm doing my best.
Here comes the hype train.
Pinkie screamed in place of the Rarity doll. Just as Applejack pulled it free, the toy train sped by and
And
straight off the counter.
it's a hype train
landing with
and
a
not the
crash
Quad City
on
DJ
the
train.
ground below. This did not seem to deter Pinkie as she cheered for the doll.
Oh, Applebottom, you're my hero.
Ship.
I sure am, Pink.
Ship.
Rarity.
Ship.
Yeah. Done now.
Done? We've only just begun.
Oh jeez.
Pinkie the giant exclaimed, motioning to the cupboard behind her to show Applejack the many hundreds of outfits and playsets she had stored away for playtime. The pit of
Oh.
Applejack's stomach dropped, and her eyes widened, imagining the horrors that were to come.
But I
giant
Pinkie the
gummy.
Giant said, swooping Applejack up with one swipe of her hoof. She hummed merrily to herself as she placed Applejack on the shelf in the play cupboard, as if she were now one of the many toys Pinkie had collected. Pinkie
Yikes.
closed the cupboard door.
Pinkie
Applejack
really is a
quickly
brony.
pushed her hat in the way of the lock. Pinkie the Giant turned the key and bounced away, assuming that she had successfully locked Applejack inside. From the table below, Raritou caught sight of Applejack's trick and intended to use her music to aid in her escape. She turned her attention to Pinkie the Giant, tooting as she hobbled towards her.
Might I play you a tune while you cook your delicacies?
Oh, a happy working song?
No, Pinkie.
Song?
Disney claimed the rights to that one.
Oh.
Aww.
Perhaps
Parody?
something soothing.
Raritou offered, trying her best to play a tune to lull the giant to sleep. A hard task to do when you're a tuba.
Yeah, great.
Of course,
They ruined
as it
the
is with
drinking game
tunes and
too.
fairy tales, Pinkie the Giant was helpless to Raritude's song. She set down her giant baking sheet of cookies and rested her head on the table. After a few minutes of silence,
You're gonna let the cookies burn?
Applejack could hear her soft snores. She struggled a little at first to pull her hat free, then bucked the wood of the door to open it. Being careful not to make a sound, Applejack leapt from the cupboard and onto the countertop, securing her hat back onto her head. She looked to the door and almost
Pinkie,
ran
stop
to
snoring.
safety when she remembered the delicious golden apples. She thought perhaps if the giant slept long enough, she could take the tree for herself.
Whoa, hang on a sec.
Pinkie.
Applejack wouldn't steal.
Pinkie, you're supposed to be asleep.
Oh, right.
Hey, Pinkie!
Applejack crept along the countertop, hopping from saucepan to baking sheet, making her way back towards the table. At long last, she reached the golden
Flutter tree!
marveling at the delicious fruit that it grew.
Flutter!
I could have just one, Applejack said, turning around to buck the bark of the tree and cause an apple to fall.
If you don't mind,
And it talks.
I would rather you didn't do that.
Fluttershy, are you a tree?
I've always
Who's
wanted to be a tree.
Fluttershy?
Aren't you? Well, then who are you?
I'm Fluttertree.
Of course. Of course you're called Fluttertree. Alright,
Okay.
go along.
Okay.
Fluttertree, would you be so kind as to allow me to take you home with me?
Oh, I don't know. That's not very nice. I really like it here. It would be so sad if the giant woke up and her tree was missing.
What does Fluttertree want?
Well, will there be little animals where you live?
Yes.
I live on a farm. Little critters are always wandering about.
Critters and
Like little pigs
vomits.
and cows and chickens? Maybe even some songbirds and squirrels.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, what do you say?
Oh, alright.
As long as you don't sing any Disney songs, it'll be okay.
How do you expect to carry me away all on your own?
I figured I'd use the conveniently placed wagon about 10 feet from where I'm standing. Applejack
Yeah.
said, tilting her head to the side to indicate to the little red wagon waiting behind Fluttertree.
How
I
convenient.
guess all them ramps make sense now. Can't wheel you out of here without them. Applejack pushed Fluttertree towards the wagon, and then used every ounce of her strength to lift it into place. As she strained and groaned under the weight of the tree, one of the golden apples shook loose and plopped right onto her head.
Ouch.
I'm so sorry.
I guess she's Newton
Applejack
now.
barely shook her head and picked up the apple that had fallen. She rubbed it on her vest before taking a mouth-watering bite.
Wait. You can't just...
We're gonna be the talk of the town once I get these here apples home.
So they're
No one will
valuable
be able to
and
resist
edible.
them, and our money troubles will be over. Applejack declared, finishing the apple with a satisfied smirk. She took the handle
It must
of the
be a really
wagon
good apple.
and carefully pulled it along the tabletop as far from the sleeping giant as she could. From the corner of her eye, Raritou could see Applejack and Fluttertree nearing the edge of the table, where the ramp around the leg would take them safely down.
Aren't you supposed to take Raritou with you?
Thinking that Applejack had forgotten her promise to take her along, she hurried across the table towards them, each hop making a toot sound. The more
Toot.
frantically she hopped, the louder and off-key the toots became. Shh, shh, Can't you keep that racket down?
You forgot me? Don't! After all I've done for
Oh god, not this again.
leave me here!
Shh! I was not. I was gonna get this here tree to the floor first and then come back for you. I swear.
A likely story. Dude, you didn't even want to go
Yikes.
with me in the first place. Why would you want a useless, ugly old tuba lying around the house?
Hey!
Please, Rarity.
I like me a fine piece of brass.
The giant might wake up and...
It's always about that silly old tree, isn't it? Dude, oh, these apples are so delicious.
Yeah.
What an amazing tree. Such a magical wonder. I bet it's the rarest fruit ever grown.
Raritoot!
No!
Raritoot
Oh
shouted,
jeez.
letting out a loud toot as she did so. Applejack put a hoof to her face and closed her eyes as she heard the unwelcome sound of the giant waking up.
I never
Uh-oh.
ordered that bungee jumping equipment.
What?
I mean, what's going on here? Hey, what's
Nothing.
my golden apple tree?
Run! Applejack shouted, wheeling Fluttertree down the leg of the table.
Run for your lives!
Wait for me.
She'll make you party to death.
Directed, bumping into a large cupcake as she pursued Applejack. The cupcake teetered on the edge of the table before landing with a splat mere inches from Fluttertree. Applejack
Uh-oh.
smeared some of the splattered frosting from her face with disdain before continuing towards the opened door.
I left the door open?
Yes, Pinkie, it's called a plot device.
Well,
Oh.
that wasn't very smart of me. Applejack might get away with my stuff.
You think?
The point, Pinkie.
Ah. Okay, you can continue.
Pinkie the
Thank you.
Giant listened for the toots of her tuba until she spotted them making their exit.
You and your
She
toots,
growled
rare toot.
and raced for the door ahead of them. Before she could make it, however, Pinkie stepped down on the fallen cupcake and slid from one end of the room to the other, colliding.
Oh,
with the
no.
wall.
Okay.
Kids, watch out for cupcakes.
Applejack, Toot, and Fluttertree made their way outside
Fluttertree,
towards the beanstalk.
rare toot.
Pinkie the Giant.
Applejack is the only one who
and
kept her
Raritoot
name.
Screamed a toot so loudly in panic that Applejack's ears went flat against her head. Could you stop that? We're trying to make our escape here.
She's not exactly the stealthy one.
Even if it is uncharacteristic that you would be stealing anything, we're going to ignore that for story purposes.
Pinkie the Giant shouted after them. Applejack bucked Raritoot up into the wagon, alongside Fluttertree, then got behind the wagon and pushed it.
What are you doing?
Hang on, Miss Tuba. We're in for a ride, Applejack
It's
said,
Miss Toot.
pushing the wagon onto the beanstalk and then hopping into it herself. With a loud yee-haw!
Ha!
Three of them rolled down the beanstalk ramp.
They see me
Her
rolling.
way down.
They hating.
Mrs. Sparkle had waited half the day for her daughter to return. She looked up at the beanstalk curiously when she heard a strange sound of a screaming tuba. Much to her surprise, Applejack and her
And a golden
two
tree.
new companions rolled off the beanstalk, missing the house to land in the dead cotton fields. Twilight!
I'm sorry, what?
Quick!
I'm sorry, what?
Up above, Pinkie the Giant waited at
I'm
the
sorry,
top of
what?
the beanstalk and watched Applejack make
Nah,
her
it's nothing.
descent. Hold on. Why are you waiting, Pinkie? Shouldn't you be pursuing them?
Oh, that would be silly. I'm a giant and I could have caught up to them in 2 bounces. Not to mention I could climb down much faster than a rolling wagon before she even had a chance to find an axe.
Huh.
So you're just going to wait here for her?
Yep. It's a pretty big plot hole in the original story if you ask me.
Ha!
Once Applejack's
Okay.
axe began chipping away at the beanstalk,
Ah,
Pinkie
fourth
the
wall
Giant
breakage.
resumed her chase,
You just gotta love it.
sliding down the beanstalk like it was a fire pony pole. Before she could reach the ground,
I would
however,
save those wheeze for later,
Applejack's
Pinkie.
axe had cut clean into the beanstalk, and the entire
Oh.
plant toppled to the ground.
Timber! Rainbow vine!
Pinkie the Giant was a few feet from the ground when she suddenly stopped in midair and righted herself, landing softly on her hoof.
What?
I'm like a cat. Always landing on my paws.
Hoops?
Cubs.
Except you slipped on a cupcake 2 minutes ago.
We don't talk about that.
Once a little Pinkie the Giant spotted the only living creature in sight. It was a brightly colored cow with rainbow hair. She
I
shook on her
wonder who
hooves
it
when she looked up
is.
at the giant, too shocked to run.
Oh my goodness! It's a rainbow vine! And I can get to milk me rainbow milk too! And I can make rainbow butter, rainbow cake, rainbow pudding.
Pinkie the giant leaned down and swooped up the cow.
Uh-oh.
Who needs some crummy old golden apples anyway? This is so much
Rainbow milk.
Pinkie the
Rainbow
giant grabbed
butter.
a cup of cloud
Rainbow
and passed
cheese.
by and fashioned it into a flight
Rainbow
of
yogurt?
stairs. She hummed a merry tune to herself as she bounced back up to her home in the sky, drowning out the frantic mooing of Rainbow Vine as she went.
Is she humming When Can I See You Again? Sure, why not?
Meanwhile, Applejack and her mother delighted in their new flutter tree, picking the golden apples
Flutter
that
tree.
would magically appear once the fruit had been picked. With the seeds from
Cool.
the apples, they replanted their dead field until an entire orchard of flutter trees sprang up from the ground.
It's an army of flutter trees!
I'm so sorry. Did I hit your branch? Oh, pardon me. I'm sorry. Did you take a few hops to
Oh, God!
I'm sorry. You're resting on my root. Oh, my bad. Oh, look, a little blue.
Oh, God!
Here. Oh, these animals are so
Stop it!
move a little. Oh, he's so adorable. Isn't it? Oh, pardon me. My
Oh, God, make it stop! Make it stop!
Where to spend your time playing songs for Applejack and Mrs. Sparkle as they harvested their new crop, whether they liked it or not. And with the money they
guessing
earned
they don't
making
like.
golden apple products, they were finally able to pay off their debts and live a comfortable life.
The end.
Aww.
Good night, Pound. Good night, Pumpkin. Sweet dreams, my little ponies. And
Ah,
good
she said
night
it.
to you too out there. Hope to see you next time for some more Pinkie Tales.
Good God, this was something. I mean, the fourth wall breakage was here and there and everywhere. Surprisingly, only between Pinkie Pie and Applejack. I don't know why. And oh God. When I listen to this, I think to myself, yeah, this is definitely a My Little Pony audio comedy. I mean, what with the references to Disney and how they can't use their songs without copyright, or like the convenience and plot holes of the original stories. And next time, Little Red Riding Bloom. Oh. 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 God. And that part with Flutter Tree growing and all the multiple Flutter Trees, it's like, instead of multiple Pinkie Pies, it's multiple Fluttershies. Oh, and they'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see where you were going. No, don't be, I'm the one who got in your way. Oh. Oh. I'm still laughing, my stomach hurts. Oh. Ow. Oh. I can't stop laughing. I can't stop laughing. Someone should make a song about that. By the way, guess what I'll be doing as a Halloween special coming in a few days? Well, this was a great episode. When Fast Track comes back, he should really see the rest with Little Red Riding Bloom. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Anyway, so that was the final episode of Noir Track Reacts. Thank you guys for watching. Look out for the Halloween special that will be coming out in a few days. And thank you for watching this video. And if you saw the beginning of the video, please leave a comment on what you think about Noir Track getting his own channel. I would very much like to hear your thoughts. Anyway, thank you, Magpiepony. Please show some love to this wonderful Pegasus sister. But let's be honest, you probably have already seen this before. And, oh, God. I think I'm gonna enjoy this. With that said, people, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and I will see you next time, and maybe even on my own channel. This was the final episode of Noir Track. We hope you enjoyed this. I'll be back either on my own channel if you want, or next October. Whichever comes first. Thank you all for watching, and you have yourselves a wonderful Halloween. I'm Noir Track. I'm the best mamma jamma who ever stood in a black and white camera. Tell Fast Track I said hi.